Hello, I'm here today to talk about one of my favorite lenses that I don't know if I will own forever. This is a 24-70 VR Nikon. Now, this lens I've used for a ton of different things, everywhere from portrait photography to event photography to family photography, sports, that kind of thing. What I really like about this focal length is it's versatile. But with saying that, a lot of people say, oh, a 24-70 lens is the first fast lens you should buy and that kind of thing. I actually don't think that's true. This is kind of a middle ground focal length. So it's useful for making videos. It's useful for as if you need one wide angle lens that you're using alongside another camera with a telephoto for sports. It's great, but they're not very dramatic, the lens focal lengths. 24 millimeters is wide. It's a really pleasing wide. It's not a wide angle that really distorts a lot of things. But in saying that, if somebody's running right at you with a football in their hand or they're crashing against the glass in a hockey game, you're not wide enough. You need a 16 or something like that to capture that. So it's not that wide. And then 70 millimeters again is sort of the edge of portrait photography. It's really good, but it's not going to be one of those lenses that totally kills the background. So it's very useful, and this version that I have is very, very sharp. I quite like it. There's a couple things I don't like about this lens though, and this is one of the reasons why it might be replaced in the future. So it's not fully internal. Now it's fully weather sealed. This is a great, really well built lens. But because the lens extends, you do have a slight change in weight when you're filming or shooting. And when you're doing things like if you're shooting through the hole for hockey, this is really annoying that your lens changes length. The other thing is, in order to store it, you really have to put it to 50. So if you put it to 50, then it gets nice and flat, and then it's easy to reverse the hood. If it's not at 50 though, it's kind of a pain to put the hood on. See, it's really easy this way. And the hood is really deep and it's super, of course this is the pro grade lens, so it's like super durable, the hood, I barely scratched it. But the problem is if you're gonna put it in your bag, you need to take the hood off. It's a little finicky. The filter thread is 82 millimeters, and 82 millimeters is pretty much standard now. I used to kind of complain when I had 77s and they had 82s. But anyway, 82 is not this really, really big filter anymore. It's kind of the standard. Most pro lenses are coming in. Though I've noticed some of the mirrorless lenses are going back to 77, which it's all good. It's really nice when you're talking about having a bunch of filters to have lenses that are all similar. For me, it seems to be gravitating towards 82 millimeters and 67 millimeters. I don't know why. But anyway, I really like this lens. It's heavy, but it has a good feel in hand. What I also like is the patterns in both the zoom ring and the focus ring are quite a bit different feeling. And there's a ridge here. So this ridge really means that when you move your hand forward, you know exactly where the manual focus ring is. So it's really useful as a video lens for that. Now, downsides. Another reason why it's not going to be in my kit bag forever is it is a very loud lens when it comes to filming in video. This lens just chutters all the time, and it gets picked up by the internal mic. It gets picked up by a shotgun mic if you put it on the camera. And so for this to be a very useful video lens, you're really using it for B-roll, or you're doing it like I'm doing right now and filming with a lavalier mic, because otherwise you're going to pick up the focusing. It also has the stabilizer, which makes it really nice for doing stuff like B-roll. But I think when it comes down to it, having the newer lenses that have stabilizers that work in conjunction with the internal stabilizer of the camera is going to be much more effective. And going forward, I think the replacement lens for this, the Z mount lens, is going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to be lighter and just a tad sharper. I don't have any concerns about sharpness of this lens. I know when it came out, people criticized it. I tried both lenses when I bought it, the original 24-70 non-VR lens and this one. And to be honest, 24 millimeters, this new one, or newish one, is much better. But at any other focal length, I could not tell the difference. And because I do a lot of video, stabilizer is really important. It helps with shooting slow. If you've got shaky hands. I guess I have shaky hands, so I like it. But anyway, it's a great lens, but I would consider this lens more, to be honest, if it was on sale, or buying it used, because Nikon lenses are very well built, and if you can find a good used copy of any lens that's been well treated, it's going to last you for years too. But I don't know if I'd pay full price for it, because I think it's a bit overpriced for what it does. Though I've noticed over the years it's come down, because it's a 2015 lens. It's a lot cheaper now than it was. It was 3,000 Canadian when it first came out. And I had to wait for sales. It was way too much money for what it really does. And to be honest, I've been so impressed with lenses from Sigma and Tamron that if it's not a focal length that you're going to be shooting all the time, I would probably just go for the Tamron or Sigma equivalent. And my recommendation when you're looking for camera gear is always go try it out, because everybody's hands are different, everybody's needs are different. Some people want a lighter lens, some people want the sharpest lens, some people only want one lens that they're going to do every bit of their photography with. It's conceivable if you have good access to a wedding. Now, I would never recommend shooting with one camera, because there's other issues with that if your camera stops working. But you could conceivably shoot a whole wedding with one of these if you are able to get quite close to the bride and the groom, and that's not a big deal. Anyway, it's great lens. This is the Nikon 24-70 VR, and this is my copy.